Hey, I'm Nick,
And I'm Ricky.
and welcome to the Demand Gen Daily Podcast. So, Ricky, what do we have in store today?
Yeah, so we want to start to talk about the state of the market today, talk about what's happening in marketing. The big thing right now is mainly the recession. So, with that happening, this definitely means opportunity for a lot of people. It does mean leaner times for a lot of companies, but out of that also comes opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, we've already been seeing some of the effects of this recently in our business. We've gotten a record high amount of freelancers looking for work. I've never seen this many emails as it has in the past 2 weeks. Just people looking for work. People are starting to cut costs where they can without damaging their employees and things of that nature. So obviously the contractors are the first to go. Outside of the gloom and doom, because we keep hearing it's like this tech company cut off 10% or 20% or second round of layoffs in terms of their employees. There's a lot of opportunity to be had. And if we think a little bit differently about the current situation, we can generate some wins and protect the jobs of the business. If you're an employee in a business in the marketing space, being able to prove your own value, huge item right now. And so when we're talking about recession means opportunity, there's a few things to keep in mind here. I would say number one, really looking ad costs, right? Are they increasing? Are they decreasing? Specifically for your niche and for your ad accounts. We know that generally they're going up. However, sometimes they go down, and they do go down sharply in times of recession.
I mean, we saw that with COVID. We've seen it before. You always have these waves of where the costs go up and down. Obviously, in the last few years, costs have been going up just because of the bigger drive to e-commerce. So you've got way more companies coming into the space in digital marketing. So it's been getting more and more competitive. But with this opportunity in the market, what's happening is that a lot of people will be pulling back their spend. So you're going to see less competition, which actually means potentially that costs will be coming down. So that's something to keep an eye on in the next few months. With Black Friday and with Christmas, you'll expect to see your ad costs go up, maybe 20 to 30%. We'll see what happens this year, but January could be very interesting when it comes to what that's going to look like. We could see ad costs being very reasonable in January. That might be an opportunity to push really hard.
The one thing I always say to people when it comes to ad costs, when it comes to recession specifically, is that first they go up and then they come down. And you would say, if the economy's slowing down, why would they go up first before they go down? What actually ends up happening is that if businesses have a sales team, or if they don't have a sales team, there might be a lot of word of mouth. People are seeking out their product. It's a lot easier to acquire that sale, basically, because people are looking for things. People are buying things. As people stop buying things, companies' first move is to say, something's happening. We're slowing down a bit. Let's make investments to increase sales. So the first move is either hire more salespeople or hire more marketers or spend more money in order to acquire more sales. That's the go-to move. And then when that move doesn't pan out, the next move is cut costs, right? And when people take the cut cost move into effect, that's where it comes. So first you see costs going up. You're going to see increased competition. People that maybe haven't advertised in the past are going to start advertising. After a bit, they're going to give up, and then it's going to come down. But it's not going to come down to where it was before. So if you started here, goes up here, it's not going to end up back where it started. That's actually going to go lower than the previous, the previous floor level. And that is when you have to push really hard, because everyone, for some reason, gives up around the same time. And it's one of these weird things where everybody's patience gets tested for maybe a couple weeks to a month. And then all of a sudden you just see costs bottom out and leads spike. And it's always longer than you think. That's the hard part.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring this back to something else that we've talked about before, Nick, which basically, if you're listening to this and you're a marketer, and we talk about the opportunity in the market, when you think about the need for marketing, the worst time for marketing is when things are flat, like when there's no activity in the market. The best times are when things are either going down or when they're going up, because everybody has a need when there's demand, and when things are going down, there's also a greater demand to market to shore up the sales that are missing.
Yeah, primarily that happens because as people give up on their like sales or marketing initiatives, they're creating a vacuum. And this is where you can take market share away from competitors, is where they put their guard down on their sales and marketing spend by making a really clever marketing campaign. Maybe it's like attacking certain niches that they're not aware of, or improving the product offering and then really pushing, that new like improved service or product that you have that makes you slightly better than the competitor. And especially if you were going into this with a bunch of cash in the bank and your company can afford to not make maybe a severe cuts, you can push that cash advantage in order to acquire that market share, generally at like a pretty wide discount. And so this is what we're preparing ourselves and our clients for at this time. What's the certainty of it? Nothing's ever 100%, but we're planning and focusing on that right now. But I would say that the opportunity here is to like really keep a watch of things like day to day, week to week, pretty closely, and watch when things are going up and down. And obviously, like Black Friday and the holidays, they always go up. I wouldn't take that as here's the increase. It'll be really interesting to see what comes out of these sales times and whether or not the returns that people have seen historically are getting better or worse than previous years. Because I don't know where I stand quite yet, but I'm betting towards it might be a little bit worse.
Yeah, definitely. And keep an eye on your cost of acquisition, your customer acquisition cost. Keep an eye on your conversion cost. Make sure you're watching those numbers, keeping them in line for the next few months to see what happens here in the market.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. We answer your questions as they come in. Until next time.